Oh, good morning. YP. YTPC. Always get that wrong. YouTube pipe community. Our knuckle pipe smoker here with another Sunday ramble. Hope everybody's having a nice Sunday, or whatever day you're watching this. I am smoking, hope you can see it, I call it my Halloween pipe. It's actually a skull pipe that I picked up from RNA Treasures on Instagram. Good smoker, not very much money. And in it, trying something new for myself, Hearth and Home's Vermont meat candy. Picked up 2 ounces of it. This, by the way, is another creation of one of the fine blenders, Wilke. And I want to do a shout out to Wilke for coming to my assistance when I needed some help with an order. He's a good guy. Never met him before, and this was my first contact with him, but I'm very impressed with his product and also with his attention. So, Vermont meat candy, kind of a funny name. You don't normally think of meat in connection with pipe tobacco. That leads into my theme for this short session, and you can see by the title, "Mad About Maple." Now, I think just about everybody likes maple flavor, maple syrup, and it's a comfort flavor, and it fits with comfort foods. And I'm all in favor of comfort foods and comfort flavors. But see, I got a problem. I don't have any other way to get maple flavor, maple syrup, because my way of eating is keto carnivore, which means I don't eat pancakes or waffles, because that's carbohydrates. That's wheat. Now, it's true there are keto recipes for waffles and pancakes, which usually involve coconut flour and almond flour, but that would clash with my carnivore side. So I'm deprived of maple, except for one place, and that is pipe tobacco. So I lately, over the last several months, have been smoking a whole slew of maple-based tobaccos, which of course by definition are going to be aromatics, but high quality aromatics. I have a little list here. My first maple experience was with Cornell Diehl's Autumn Evening, which they say is their best-selling tobacco. It's either the best-selling overall tobacco or best-selling aromatic. Very good, highly recommended. But since then, I've been smoking for a year and a half, maybe almost 2 years. But since then, I've sampled and liked every one of these. Country Squire's Second Breakfast, which is part of their Middle Earth series. Sutliff, 3 different Sutliffs, maple Cavendish, vanilla maple, and maple walnut. They also have a rum maple, which I haven't tried. Maybe I will someday. I'm not a big rum person, but I think in a tobacco with maple, it's probably very good. To continue my list, Boswell's Maple Leaf, Wilke Tobacco's Vermont Maple, and the latest, Hearth and Home's Vermont Meat Candy. Now, all of these are very, very good. I could recommend any one of them. And, given what I've said about my perhaps unrefined palate, I'm not sure I could pass a blind taste test and name, pick out one from another. I like them all, and I don't find them very distinct, which is no way to put down. But anyway, they're all good. And I've been enjoying them just on their own, as they're, I'm sure, intended to be smoked. But others have certainly discovered this before, but personally I discovered something else to do with it, which I'll tell you in a second, because I want to take a quick break for this word. Cavendish. And we're back. I've discovered that you can start with one of these maple blends for blending purposes. Now, I don't really aspire to be a blender. I believe that's an art. I fooled around with it a little bit, but it didn't really hold my interest, and I'm not interested in coming up with a new creation. But out of necessity, I've been fooling around with blending a bit because I had a problem with dark fired Kentucky tobaccos. With one exception, perhaps, I find dark fired Kentucky way too overpowering in terms of nicotine, but also just sheer palate overpowering flavor. Too much. It's too much of a good thing. And that plus the nicotine can really put me away. I may have to sleep it off, I feel like. If I were driving, I would need to pull over. And I certainly need several hours for my palate to recover to want to do anything else, to eat or smoke again or drink anything besides water. I'll give you some examples of these. The most obvious example for me is Mac Barron's Bold Kentucky. That is one powerful tobacco, so handle with care. I know some people are not fazed by it, but wow, it can knock me out. Other examples are Peterson's Irish Flake, which is actually a blend. Dark Fired Kentucky is not the only thing in that. It's got Virginia and I think some other things. And yet, to me, I couldn't pass a blind taste test between Mac Barron's Bold Kentucky and Peterson Irish Flake. They taste the same to me, and they're equally overpowering. And then a third example is Amphora's Kentucky Blend, which I think is one of the latest of the Amphora, in the Amphora line, which is made by Mac Barron. And that's very tasty, but it's still very strong for me. Not as strong as these others, but still very strong. So I got an idea. I decided to mix. I started with the Amphora blend, but now I've moved on to the Bold Kentucky. Decided to mix it with one of the maple blends. I was using the Sutliff vanilla maple because I have quite a bit of that, and also the Boswell. And I started out with 50-50, and I found the dark fired still kind of heavy. So I then changed that to roughly 80-20, maybe 75-25. I don't try to make precise measurements, and by the way, I don't use weight. Somebody tipped me off that use volume, not weight, so I just eyeball it. I don't have to feel like I need to be that precise. I just eyeball it. Weight may be misleading because some tobaccos may be heavier than other tobaccos, especially if they have some topping. And I have to say that the combination of a maple blend with dark fired Kentucky is delicious. Now, while at the same time I was thinking about this and doing all this, the Hearth and Home Vermont meat candy came to my attention. So someone said, if you like maple blends, check out that VMC. And so I did, and I read the ingredients, and the ingredients are dark fired Kentucky, maple flavor, I don't know, maybe some Virginia, and the idea was from the smoked dark fired, smoky dark fired, it was supposed to suggest a bacon flavor, which of course, what goes better with maple than bacon. I can't think of anything. So, I tried it. Smoking it now. And of course it takes some time to get to know a tobacco. First impressions may not be lasting impressions. I'm not quite sure I'm getting bacon, but I'm getting a smokiness. And my own blends, I'm not sure I would have thought of bacon, but again, there is that sort of dark smokiness, pleasant smokiness. But what the maple does is reduce, to me, the potency of the dark fired and makes it palatable, makes it something I can smoke. So I'm delighted because I have a lot of dark fired on hand through a couple of different quirks, including a gift from somebody. I have quite a bit of Bold Kentucky on the one hand and Irish Flake on the other. A lot. And I was thinking, if I can't smoke this stuff, you know, what do I need to do? Trade it away or something? But hey, before you chuck it or before you trade it, try blending a tobacco that you're having some trouble with and see what happens. I'm very pleased with the results. So for me, dark fire Kentucky added along with some maple. That's the ticket. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up there. I hope everyone has a great rest of weekend, week. And so please remember, to each his own, live and let live. And by the way, replace your divots. And visit my blog at www.hobbynothabit.blog. See you next week.